All right, welcome to the WrestleBuzz Elimination Chamber review. A little delayed here. I mean, we were supposed to go live last night. Totally my fault. I hope everyone understands. It's Joseph Crush from the Wrestling Journal podcast of WrestleBuzz Podcast Network, alongside my brother from the Top Row podcast, Gurge Brooms. What's going on, dude?
Bro, what is up, man? I'm kind of glad that we delayed this show until tonight because I think I just would have been dancing and jumping and being like all sorts of nonsense if we would have done this live last night. So I've had some time to chill out and really absorb what happened last night on the show, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Hell yeah, man. Speaking of delay, I mean, we live on opposite sides of the country. We have to, address the elephant in the room. There's a slight delay here with our internet connection. So if anyone's watching and it bothers you, just, get the fuck out of here, man. We don't need you here. We don't need that nonsense. So enjoy the show. Enjoy our review of the pay-per-view. And let's get started. Gurge, first of all, what a show, man. I think the hype up for the show was one of the best hype ups we've had in a long time, especially with the main story going into it. I think overall for me the show was an A. I mean almost an A plus. I think from top to bottom it just delivered where it mattered. And they started off with the women's chamber match, and I think going into that there was kind of an idea, a huge favorite going into it, and I think everyone was okay with the outcome, and that was Asuka winning. But before we talk about Asuka winning, the overall match itself, what'd you think? Was there any other winners that came out of that match from you that you saw?
Well, so first off, I mean, I wasn't as high on the women's elimination chamber matches. Maybe I should have been, especially in the early stages of the match. And this might be a commentary on women's wrestling in general. I like women's wrestling. I think it's fantastic, and I think there's some phenomenal women's wrestlers out there. But this may be a hot take and may get me canceled, but there are some really mediocre women's wrestlers out there. And while they have the technical skill, they don't hit as hard, and their work punches don't look that great. And that was like the first part of the match for me, was just kind of trying to get through that. Like, I mean, Carmella's got one of the best super kicks in the business too. I just want to put that out there. I'm going to put Carmella over, whether or not you don't like her, you like her, whatever. Her super kick is one of the best in the business. And I'm not a Liv Morgan guy either. She took some gnarly bumps, and she was in the middle of some good shit in this match. But when it comes to her aggressiveness, I just wasn't really feeling it. I definitely had Raquel going over on this, and I trust me, I get the Asuka stuff, and I'm glad Asuka won. So it was like kind of going back and forth for me between Raquel and Gonzalez, or Raquel and Asuka, excuse me. So I think if anybody came out of this match looking stronger, it was definitely Raquel, regardless of the fact that she was put out by Carmella there at the end. But Asuka definitely the winner, and that should make for a really good match at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, I mean the match we'll get into in 2 minutes. Bianca versus Asuka is going to be stellar. You know what? I got to disagree. I mean, it's all opinionated, but I think Liv showed off like a side of her last night that really she can kind of run with that character, and she kind of has been doing that for the past few months actually. But like how she's just a tough chick, and like she could take a lot of a huge beating. Clearly, it took 2 people to submit her last night. It was Natalya. I think Natalya had the sharpshooter on her, and then Asuka came in with the armbar. Asuka, like whatever. And man, and she the one move Natty had on, she shoved her head through the cage and was like fucking pulling hard, dude. That was wild, man. And then I don't know. I thought Liv was impressive last night. Raquel did well as well. Also, like she killed it. I loved Natty's pop that she got like in Montreal. I was like, I hope they're not like riding with this though, because like nothing against Natty, like she's been around for a minute, but like I hope they don't like that. That'll be the only crowd that she'll get that reaction for.
Yeah, let me chime in for 2 seconds, and I know we got a delay, but I was confused as hell of why Natty was even in this match. And I
Mm.
get it, whatever, workhorse, she's been around for a long time. And then she got the pop, and I was like, oh, no shit. No,
Yeah,
I
she's so
completely forgot that she's also from Canada. Okay, yeah, okay. So I'll
yeah.
give him that.
Yes, I actually forgot to, and then I remembered when she came out the reaction she got. So I thought it was pretty cool. She does deserve something uh, in the last leg of her career. So whether it was this rub in Montreal or whatever, but man, Asuka coming out on top. Asuka Bianca at WrestleMania. We got the two women's titles matches set for Mania. Two bangers. As this word's getting thrown around. It's the easiest word to say, I guess, nowadays. But like the fact that it gets thrown around a lot. But these two matches will be top notch when we leave WrestleMania weekend. Definitely two of the top matches of the weekend.
Hell yeah.
But Asuka takes the cake, headed to Mania against Bianca Belair. Should be a good one for sure. Bobby versus Brock. Now, I don't know what many people expected out of this, but since Friday, all I cared about was who's coming out of it on alive or walk out of it, because that's who we knew Bray was going to go after. And take it as you will, Brock got disqualified, but he did walk out alive. And I don't know what that means for the future of Bray and whoever he's choosing out of this match, but the match was only like 4 minutes, a typical Brock match, if you want to call it that. Bobby gets the W. Do you see Bobby or Brock heading in Bray's path? What'd you think of the match? Or roll thoughts?
Well, so it was. So the whole Bray stuff on SmackDown,
Yeah.
complete swerve. All right, and it changed the way I even looked at the match to begin with. Um, I still don't understand why Bray even name dropped them. I don't know what the hell's going on there, but
Yeah.
whatever. They'll have me watch it on Friday to try to figure out what the hell's happening. But yeah, standard Brock match, totally fine with that. I didn't like the DQ mainly because this was the rubber match. And I mean, I guess if you look back at all of their matches, so this being their third one, the one at the Rumble last year, it was
Yeah.
Roman interfering that made Brock lose the match. If you look at Crown Jewel, it was like it was the roll up while he was in, or it was like the pin while he was in the Hurt Lock, if I remember correctly. So shenanigans, and then here we are the day after Elimination Chamber, shenanigans again. So we've had 3 matches that have all kind of ended in shenanigans. I don't know if I appreciated that, but what I will say, the opposite of what I felt about the women's matches, because they were beating the shit out of each other. Those were some hard hits coming from those two meaty gentlemen. So I appreciate that, but I wish it would have ended a little bit differently. Now, I mean, what does this mean? You're right. What does this mean for the whole Bray name dropping them on SmackDown? Because, I mean, yeah, Bobby Lashley won. It was via disqualification, and then Brock beat the shit out of everybody to include the ref. I have zero idea. So I'm looking forward to SmackDown to figure it out. Are we going to get Brock versus Bray Wyatt in a Mountain Dew pitch black match at WrestleMania? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, man. But I think when Bray announced that on Friday, I was kind of I was 50-50. I was like, I'll take Bray versus Brock or Bray versus Bobby. I don't care. Either one is gonna be awesome. But he didn't specify, like he said in the promo, he didn't specify whoever wins is who should run. It's whoever walks out alive, or whatever man walks out should run. So it looks like that's Brock. I was kind of hoping. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to see Brock versus Gunther at Mania, but I'll take Brock versus Bray all day, bro. Not gonna lie, it should be awesome.
Yeah, but who goes over? Who goes over, Brock or Bray? Is Bray going to beat Brock?
Yes.
Yes.
He has to. I don't know. There's no other way.
He has to. Yeah.
But it was a short match, and that was a short review because there wasn't much to talk about. Edge and Beth versus Judgment Day. It was Finn and Rhea. I think for Beth and Edge not being super active, Beth barely active, and Edge, in and out as we see him. I thought the match came off really well. There's a couple of botched spots, but comes expected with people that are older in age and aren't wrestling on a consistent basis. But I think that match was a lot of fun, man. And granted, I went in almost guaranteeing the Judgment Day winning because I thought Rhea shouldn't take a loss going into Mania. But I woke up today and I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm not affected by it. I don't think she should be either. Everyone played their parts. Dom killed it again, and they Edge and Beth ended with a shatter machine. So shout out to the rival FTR. I thought that was pretty cool as well. Man, I'm a big Edge guy, so I always like watching his matches. It was a good one. It's and we're not getting many more of them with his apparent contract ending or his career ending within this year. That's what the word is. So, what did you think of the match? And did you think the right call was made with who won and who what they have going forward?
Well, I think so. You brought up a couple good points there. So I did enjoy the match. There were the kind of the couple botches, mainly focused around Beth Phoenix, specifically the failed save from the pin, and where Edge had to kind of like do that like little barely kind of get his shouldered up. It reminded me whenever Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, what was that, WrestleMania 21, where Kurt was trying his damnedest to get like the 2.99 pinfall or near fall, and he ended up raising his shoulder up too late, and it was that whole thing, and they booed him out of the building for it. I mean, of course they forgot it 2 seconds later, but at that moment they booed him. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Thank God Edge had like the ring awareness, the professionalism, just to figure out, hey, this shit's not going to happen. She's not going to make it over here in time, so let me go ahead and just barely lift my shoulder up to at least get it off. No, the match was a banger, and I had no idea how much I loved Dominic Heat until that match. What was it? Fuck you, Dominic chants the whole match. That makes my heart warm because that's what professional wrestling is. I don't care what anybody says. Getting the crowd to respond, and of course it was a Montreal crowd. Canada crowds are always hype, and they're always a fun crowd to watch on TV. And but yeah, no, I overall enjoyed the match. Them losing, the Judgment Day losing, was a shock to me personally. The same reason you said. You brought up a great point. Rhea going in with a loss into WrestleMania, even though she didn't take the pin, but still it's a loss. And all the dirt sheets and the rumors about Edge versus Finn Balor in a Hell in a Cell match. Maybe this will come. Maybe we're trying to figure out how we get there, and I assume that the easiest linear direction of getting them to a Hell in a Cell would have Edge and Beth Phoenix lose here tonight, and Edge just being pissed off, be like, "All right, it's time to finish this." Because as far as I can tell, this is done. I mean, it's not done. I mean, it feels done. Like, okay, cool. You guys, the mixed tag match we've been talking about for a long time now happened. And do they really need another match? So we'll see how they do on Raw about how they're going to spice it up if they're still going to move forward with the Hell in a Cell. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the match, even minus the few botches. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, real quick before I just double down, I missed this comment before. Supersonic Onyx, Brock will probably be suspended. He should be, right? So it would make sense kayfabe wise. So maybe that'll bring in the reason why Bray if Bray wants to go after Bobby. We'll find out. It's a good observation here, but yeah, I don't know how they get if they're the Hell in a Cell. If they're another match in general, like you said, this should be done now, right? I think we had the one-on-one with Edge and Finn already, Extreme Rules. Now we have the mixed tag. How do you get to a Hell in a Cell? I mean, you could find a way, but I think when is enough at this point? 6 weeks left until Mania. You could find a way, I guess, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind another path for all parties. We'll see. All right. They played the first of hopefully many parody movie trailers for WrestleMania. We got Joker and the Batman, or the Man, with Becky and Seth. You're a comic book guy, right? What were your thoughts on the representation here?
Yeah. First off, I love my favorite part. Well, there's two favorite parts. The reworked version of the Joker song. I can't remember the name of the song. It's the song they play at all the baseball games and all that shit like that, with Joker dancing down the stage. Like, they reworked it, but then they reworked it with Seth Rollins' oh, and I thought that shit sounded so dope. Like I was sitting there I was listening to it. I was like, oh man, they're doing like one of those corny parodies where they make it sound sort of like it, but they have to change some notes or whatever. But no, they absolutely nailed it. And yeah, looking in the comments right now, yeah, absolutely. Seth as the Joker was perfect, and only to be bested by his better half with that damn Batman voice. And I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I know that later on, I don't know if you'll talk about later on, they kind of showed like a teaser of what else to expect from the video, from the videos they're going to roll out. And I saw Roman sitting in, I think it was maybe from Goodfellas. And I like it when my wrestling doesn't take itself so seriously, mainly because we've got like this on the other side of the channels, if you will. We've got this 90-minute or 60-minute Iron Man match between MJF and Bryan Danielson going down, and that's like the most seriousness of the serious.
Yeah.
Those dudes are taking it to a whole nother level. This is the type of shit I like to see too. Absolutely.
I didn't see the I must have been when I ran upstairs for a couple minutes, but I didn't see the teaser for the other trailers. They showed did they show anything else besides Roman, or was that the only teaser they showed?
Yeah, no, they showed Roman and for Goodfellas, and the only one that really pops in my brain was the Brawling Brutes and the 40-year-old virgin scene where they're ripping off his chest hair. Yeah, that was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. I know there were other ones that's not popping in my head right now, but that one was pretty good.
I just got to know who's going to be slicing the garlic in the Goodfellas. It's got to be Paul Heyman at the table with the fucking razor blade slicing the garlic from Goodfellas. It's got to be. I'm excited, man. It was WrestleMania 21, was it, for the last Hollywood when they showed all the trailers for that, man? Dude, that was classic stuff. It's still stuff you could watch today and appreciate. Montez and Belair and Titanic.
Oh, yeah, the Titanic one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, sounds good. Thanks, brother. Yeah, man, we've been waiting for these, and I'm glad they're doing it. I'm glad they're bringing these back, and I think everyone is. If you were a fan back then and watched, what was it, 18 years ago, 21, dude, come on, wait, WrestleMania 21 was it? Am I bugging? WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania 21. Yeah, that was 2005.
18 years ago. Holy.
Yeah, that was the last WrestleMania I watched. When I got out of wrestling, that was my last WrestleMania I watched. I think I watched it for another 6 or 7 months. I ended up falling off of it. But yeah, I watched WrestleMania 21 live. That was a good one.
Roman was Joe Pesci. Am I a clown to you? Oh, wow. So this should be good. All right.
That's it.
U.S. title, Elimination Chamber. Dude, let me tell you, when they announced the competitors, when the match was complete, when we knew who was going to be in the match, god damn, was I jacked up. The talent involved from top to bottom in all different facets of what you want in a chamber match, in my opinion. You have youth, you have veterans, you have guys in between, and they performed 100%. Theory comes out on top with little shenanigans from that dastardly Logan Paul, who in the most obvious WrestleMania match in current history, him versus Seth, clearly is what's going to happen. Couple of great spots in this match, and I think I know I asked you before who you thought stuck out besides Theory being the winner. I'm going to jump ahead and say I thought Bronson Reed. I'm a Bronson Reed guy from the get-go. I think he really stood out for me in this match. I think he showed off his strength, and I really think they showcased him well. And I think a guy like Johnny Gargano showed off a lot of stuff too. And I hope, because like you look back and you watch Raw or whatever, SmackDown, whatever shows they're on, the reactions aren't that great from the weekly crowds, and it's getting noticed on social media. Not that like is 100% will matter for what their future holds, but you'd want to see them get a better reaction. I think this is a perfect type of match to showcase what they can do outside of just a generic match on a Raw or SmackDown. So I hope people take with what they saw here and put stock into guys like Bronson Reed or Johnny Gargano going forward, because I know what they can do watching from NXT and before, but I hope they kind of take what they saw here put a little more stock in their name. But anyone stick out to you with that match, Gurge? And what'd you think of the finish?
Well, the finish was whatever. I think we all knew Austin Theory was going to win, and how do you make him win? Of course, there has to be some shenanigans. So of course, Logan Paul coming in made sense. He's really just eating that buckshot lariat up. That's just. It made no sense for him to be like, I'm going to do this right now. He could have done something different, maybe come in with a chair, but he's eating that shit up. So good for him. He just loves to do it, and he's good at it. He looks really good when he does it, so good for him. Of course, Montez Ford though all day. His showing on this match, he needed a nice little singles one. I think we all go back to a couple years ago with Kofi. He had the gauntlet match to get into the Elimination Chamber. He got put into the Elimination Chamber like last minute. I can't remember how it all went down, but everyone was on fire for Kofi, and that was his moment. And he showcased the hell out of his singles abilities. And of course, Montez did the same thing here. That stupid thing he did from the top of the cell where he was like, he had his arms all bent backwards and then dropping down. Took a little bit too long. I do remove myself a little bit when I look down. Obviously the camera's focused on him and his amazing athleticism, but then you look down and you see all the gaggle of people just staring up at him, waiting for him to fall down. I don't know if I like that too much. They can figure that shit out. You guys are professionals. You get paid millions of dollars. Y'all can figure that out a little better. But no, I mean, hands down, probably one of the best Elimination Chamber matches that's happened in a very long time. And even though we all knew Austin Theory was going to win because he's not ready to drop the title, I guess it was a creative way to do it. And like you said, the most obvious WrestleMania match coming up is Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul. So I guess we had to officially, work the marks and get something going for there. But absolutely love that match. And Bronson Reed taking 4 finishers to get him out of the match. I mean, that's Gunther coming in at number 1 and ending the Royal Rumble, not winning, but ending it. That's the type of stuff Triple H is doing. Let me just do something small, micro, and showcase how badass this son of a bitch is. So good for him and good for everybody. I would like to see Gunther and Bronson at WrestleMania. If that's just these two dudes who receive these power moments and just let them go at it, man. But no, overall I love the match. It was a definite highlight. I say it all the time. If you listen to the podcast, if you got me yelling or making noise or talking to the TV, you're doing a good job.
Hell yeah, man. And I think I'm right with you. I think I have to go back and watch a couple chamber matches to maybe refresh my memory because there's never like a chamber match that sticks out to me like a full match. It's usually like the finish or something like that or who wins. But I want to say this is one of the better, if not the best, like from bell to bell. Maybe not like the ending. Like I mean, like there could be a championship, like a WWE championship one that's better. But like the stuff that happened between the bells, really was top notch and a lot of fun. Montez, goddamn dude. If you didn't know, like now you know type of thing, right? This guy's could be a star or will be a star. Seth being there is an obvious like win. Like he's always going to perform. Priest can't forget about Priest either. He killed it as well. But Logan's buckshot, best in the biz. Or am I just, you said Carmella Super King is the best.
It's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
It's pretty good.
We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited. Theory, I don't know if you saw it in the press conference after he issued an open challenge for the U.S. title, and Edge accepted it. So I think we're getting Edge versus Theory tomorrow night on Raw, which would be fun. Let's imagine that Theory runs with this title until Mania, has another open challenge at Mania, and John Cena answers maybe? I don't know. We'll see. Looks like Jamie Noble and Abyss produced that match. So shout out to them. They fucking killed it. Abyss, low key. Great mind, I guess, in the business. I think we knew about Jamie Noble, but Abyss being a stellar director or producer in the back for WWE. Thanks, buddy. All right. I think the match. It's the pay-per-view is called Elimination Chamber, but the match we were all kind of looking forward to and wondering what was going to happen. Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns, undisputed Universal Championship. We got to see what it would be like, a little teaser for Sami to come out in front of this crowd on Friday the night before on SmackDown. And boy, was it insane. And man, to say as a 30 plus year fan of wrestling, one of the more like, I don't want to say emotional moments, but like just insanely crazy moments
Oh
I've seen.
man, it's emotional. It
Yeah,
was emotional,
yeah.
man.
It was
Absolutely, it
like
was.
your emotion. I wasn't like crying, but like your emotions are like fucking jacked up. But that was one of the higher moments in like,
Right here, man.
it goes with like a lot of things, man. Punk in Chicago, like that. When you get a crowd reaction like that, something's right. And I don't care if it's your hometown or not. It's something's right. And then we get it again last night at Chamber. Family's there. Sammy's family's in the crowd. His wife, I think we've seen for the first time. His dad was there. It looked like relatives of others. And damn, on top of it, like you're watching the match and like you're just wondering what's gonna, like, we know we have to watch this 25, 30, whatever, however long minute match it was. We're just, the suspense is like killing us to know what's going to happen at the end, right? That's at least how I felt about it. Like, who's, so no Jay, no Jimmy, no Solo coming down with Paul. Where are they? What are they going to do? Who's going to hit who with a chair? Who's going to super kick who? Who's going to Samoan spike who? Like, that's where are we going with this? And that's where my mind was at least when I was watching this. And we get to the end, and we're still left without some answers too. So I think, like, we don't know where Jay stands in this. Jimmy comes down, super kicks Sammy. Jay comes down. Roman tries to hand him the chair. He won't hit Sammy. And I mean, we know the finish. Roman wins, right? The match was fucking awesome, dude. Sammy took a beating. Roman took some stuff too. I think they both just played off each other really well. This has to be the first time they've ever had a match, like a one-on-one match, as far as I know, unless they met each other in developmental at some point, or if they were down there at the same time. I'm not sure if they were. But man, what your emotions running through this match? Just your overall thoughts, and take it away, sir.
Hey, man. So this is the type of stuff that wrestling bookers should be striving for at all times. We shouldn't be comparing it to Punk in Chicago. We should be comparing it to something more recent. One of the things that drove me to AEW especially when they first started, was just how electric the crowd was, because it was exciting. And at least that first year, AEW worked really hard to give us something that worth cheering for, worth getting emotional. I think back to that first Double or Nothing with Cody and Dustin bleeding to death in the damn middle of the ring, and just how emotional that match came with really no build, because it was their first pay-per-view. And that was exciting. And I was having goosebumps just hearing you talk about it, man, because that's the
Yeah,
stuff I love about wrestling. And I love watching. Oh man, I could sit here. We could record a whole nother podcast on that however many minute promo that Sammy did on SmackDown. I mean, it must have been like 4, 5, 6 minutes of the crowd, just of him soaking it all in. Sammy was crying. Get the fuck. And that's what I need, man. I need to know that these aren't just these robots on TV who are these characters they play. This shit means something to them, man. Like, just being in that moment means something to them. And every single one of us knew Sammy was going to lose, because there's no way Sammy's winning. But we could all appreciate what it felt for Sammy to be in that moment. Hometown, Universal WWE Undisputed Championship, all that nonsense, going against literally one of the greatest of all times. We will be talking about Roman Reigns the same way we talk about Hulk Hogan. All right. And for that, and they gave Sammy so much, because they knew he was going to lose, but my man kicked out of a Superman punch. My man kicked out of a spear. My man kicked out of everything. And absolute, like, I need to start making a list. Absolute match of the year candidate for the, even if you look at some of the technical stuff, which I'll disagree with, but if you look at some of the technical stuff and it wasn't like the most technically sound match, I would disagree completely. But the crowd elevated it to like whole new levels. You posted on Instagram talking about TV 14, and we were wondering if this means that Sammy's going to bleed to death tonight. I'm glad they switched to the TV 14 because I remember reading something on the dirt sheets or something about how they were trying to go to TV 14 just so they could stop censoring the crowd. And so they went to TV 14 last night so we can get those fuck you Roman chants in like crystal HD, just beautiful. And we got to soak it all in. And god damn, man. I would have been more hyped last night talking about this. Don't sleep on Roman's facials, bro. Oh my God. Go watch that first 3 minutes after the bell rings where they don't even touch each other. You see all sorts of emotions go through Roman's face. He's becoming frustrated. He's becoming angry. He's becoming arrogant, all this stuff like that. And obviously he was going to lose, or Sammy was going to lose. And they did a good job of protecting Sammy. And of course, KO coming out at the end, and they just beat the shit out of him. Send the fans home happy. That's really all you need to do that night because everybody knew he wasn't going to win. But damn, it lived up to every expectation, to include the end with Jay coming out and just standing in between them. And then, of course, Sammy with the spear on Jay, which is probably going to lead into the tag match at Mania with Kevin Owens, which is fine because that's beautiful. That's natural. That's organic. I don't feel like I'm being forced this. Even like the Roman stepping out of the way at the last second, even that was like precisely timed. Like that was so beautifully timed. Like it's one of those things where I genuinely look at it and say, "Oh man, Sammy made a mistake." It wasn't telegraphed as much as sometimes those things are. No, absolute phenomenal match, and definitely match of the year candidate. We'll be talking about this on our 3-part end of year special at the end of this year because it was phenomenal.
Yeah, we got to jot that down. Man. Like, if you ask me what pro wrestling is to me, like this story, this match, it's not even over yet. This is what it is, man. And god damn, Sammy, you talk about facials. Sammy, the whole match, the aggression he had, and the dude, it was so good. Paul was involved a little bit too. Like everything was just perfect about that. The crowd, the two people in the ring, everyone that got involved. Could you say, like, why didn't Kevin come down during the match and why did he wait till after the belt? I don't know. Do you want to nitpick? Do you want to try to nitpick this storyline? I don't want to. I'm not going to say it again. But I woke up today again. We'll reference that a couple times because I've had some time to like think about it. And I'm like, I'm actually okay with Sammy not winning last night. As much as badass it would have been, I think long term, like, did he like what means more, I guess, is the question. Like the story still continues. Now you throw in Cody for Roman, and then now it was always what the story was coming back to was Sammy and Kevin. Like that was really like them reconnecting and forming whatever they had before because they're brothers, right? They've been friends forever. And now they can still have that goal of breaking up or hurting the bloodline within, and now we can get the tag match, and they can take away those tag titles, and then Cody comes in and takes away the title for Roman. You'd assume at least. Man, dude, I don't even know, like that crowd, and I think you talked about the gap of them not touching each other from the bell ringing. There was like 3 or 4 minutes, and then what Sammy did on Friday. That Montreal crowd, give them like 8 minutes of like carrying what we saw the past two nights, man. It was awesome. Project Kayfabe, 6 shirts on both. Yeah, I gotta represent my dog, dude. My dog. Yeah, man.
Hey, real quick. I know we got a delay, and I apologize for jumping in with the delay, but And I think this works out perfect too, because I think so. Obviously, Cody goes on to win Mania, and I think this is going to be a. I think Roman's going to disappear for a little while. I think this Roman's going to disappear, and a good backlash match would be Cody versus Sammy. I think, and I don't think Sammy will win that one either. But if you're looking for a hype, hey, the match that could have been at WrestleMania, throw it at Backlash, and call it good.
Yeah, we'll see. Dude, I think Sammy will get his due eventually. I don't know if it has to be. It could happen. I don't know if it has to be right now. I think once Cody takes over, or once he gets the belt, like we'll see more open opportunities for people where it's like, and there actually believability in like people winning. Like who we didn't have a guy to beat Roman, right? And granted, is Cody technically believably like there's other guys he went up against that could have beaten Roman, but like we just knew it wasn't time yet. And we're speaking in future terms, like we know Cody's gonna win. Shit, Roman can still win at Mania. We have no idea, but just assume that Cody wins. There's going to be more opportunities for more people to make it more believable and beating him. Um, Pat says he won even in his loss due to so over. And if we're being honest, Sammy had him down for a 5 count in the middle of that ring. He did. He technically won with no ref. We can always go back to that too. So, we had to know the false finishes going into this match were going to be at an all-time high, right? Especially in front of that crowd. Boy, my heart. There was a couple of times, man. I'm not gonna lie, where I thought it was over. But I was like, we haven't seen anyone yet. There's no way. Like Jimmy wasn't even down yet, and he already hit a haluva kick. I was like, no way. Like no. But man, there's still so much more to see here when it comes to the Usos, when it comes to KO and Sammy. How does Cody get involved now? Like with Roman, when do we see them face off finally? A lot of good stuff, man. I want to talk about Mania in a different show, not right now. But if you just think about what we have lined up already, bro, are you fucking kidding me? This Mania is gonna be sick, insane. So,
oh yeah,
I'm jacked up, dude.
I just wanted to put the plug out there one more time that I will be there live at SoFi, and I got good damn seats this year. I'm broke as a joke, but I will be there for both nights of WrestleMania.
You bet your ass. You got it. We need boots on ground right after that show again, like we did the last stream, dude.
I love it. Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Oh man, dude, Elimination Chamber low key was a really fun fucking show. And I'm glad we can 5 matches all we need. I know we had the Chambers. I know we had it right after Rumble. So the buzz going into Mania, dude, is like serious right now. We've had some top quality stuff. The WWE product right now is pretty good in my opinion. I wouldn't change too much about what's going on right now, and I put all my faith in Uncle Paul's hands. So. We'll see what happens at Mania. We have 6 weeks. Let's end it here, man. Where can anyone find you on social media, Gertrude?
Listen, you can find me on Instagram at I Hate Gerge Brooms. That's my personal page. You can also follow my podcast at From the Top Row Podcast. I usually drop on Mondays. I just got my computer back from the shop, so I'm actually probably not going to record one tonight because I recorded this podcast. This is better than anything I'll do by myself. But I'll post a lot of wrestling content on there. Find me, like me, and let's have some fun, man. I'm hyped.
Hell yeah! Thank you everyone for joining. If you want to follow us on social media at WrestleBuzz on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, we're here on YouTube, so I don't have to say that. And WrestleBuzz with 3 Z's on Twitter. WrestleBuzz Podcast Network. If you want to follow all our podcasts, Project Kayfabe popped in here before too. You can listen to his as well. The Wrestling Journal on that feed as well. We're going to do more of these. We've got some more content coming out. Not just strictly live stuff, but we'll do live ones after every pay-per-view or PLE. I think the next one coming up is Revolution in March 10th, AEW.
Yep.
That's it, right? So that should be going as well. We do cover AEW stuff also, so don't be one right there. Thank you, everyone, for coming, watching us live, commenting. We appreciate you. And we'll see you on the other side. Adios.